activity, contrary to Section 3C, as read with 4.1 of the Prevention of Organized Crimes Act 2010, as well as Count 10, Count 9, Abuse of Office, contrary to Section 111, as read with 1 or 2 of the Penal Code, and the last count, Breach of Trust by a person employed in the public service, contrary to Section 127.1, as read with 127.2 of the Penal. On her part, it was proved that some funds landed into accounts, and therefore the court finds she has a case to answer. A prima facie case was proved against her, and accordingly she's placed on her defense in count number 2, which is stealing, contrary to Section 268, subsection 1, as read with Section 275 of the Penal Code. Josephine is also placed on her defense in count number 3, which is conspiracy to defraud, contrary to Section 317 of the Penal Code, and also count number 4, which was conspiracy to defraud. Count 3 was in respect to the 791,385,000, while count 4 was in the attempt to steal the 685,400,000. She's also placed on a defense in count number 5, which is engaging in organized crime, contrary to Section 3C, as read with 4.1 of the Penal Code of the Organized Crimes Act 2010. Accused 7 was Peter Omari Otuoma. The court finds there was no sufficient evidence to place him on his defense. He is therefore acquitted under Section 210 of the CPC in the counts that he was facing, which were count 2, which was the stealing, contrary to Section 268.1 of the Penal Code, as read with 275 of the Penal Code, as well as counts 3 and 4, which were the conspirators to defraud, contrary to Section 317 of the Penal Code, and Section 5, engaging in organized crimes, contrary to Section 3C, as read with 4.1 of the Penal Code, as well as count 9, abuse of office, contrary to Section 111, as read with 102 of the Penal Code, and the last count, which was breach of trust by persons deployed in the public section, contrary to Section 127.1 and 127.2 of the Penal Code. Up the hierarchy, we not only have the documentary evidence, but the entries in the IFMI system, and accordingly, Hendrix Nyongesa Pilisi, who was the head of the procurement, is placed on his defense in count number 2, which was stealing, contrary to Section 268, subsection 1, as read with 275 of the Penal Code. Additionally, Hendrix Nyongesa Pilisi is also placed on his defense in count number 3, subsection C, as read with 4.1 of the Penal Code. Hendrix Nyongesa Pilisi is also placed on his defense in count number 8, that is making the false document, contrary to Section 347, which was said to be from suspicious sources. Accused 8 is also placed on his defense in count number 9, which is abuse of office, contrary to which is breach of trust by persons employed in the public sector, contrary to Section 127, 1 and 2 of the Penal Code. And that placed him at a high level of responsibility, as he ought to have known what amounts were in the account before any commitment or before a placed in his defense in counts number 2, which is stealing, contrary to section 268, subsection 1 of the Penal Code, as read with section count number 3, which is conspiracy to defraud, contrary to section 317 of the Penal Code. And Samuel Wachenja is also placed on his defense in count number 5, which is engaging in organized crime, contrary to section 3C, abuse of office, contrary to section 101, subsection 1, as read with 101, subsection 2 of the Penal Code. And equally, he is placed on his defense in count number 10, which is breach of trust by persons employed in the public sector, contrary to section 127, subsection 1 and subsection 2 of the Penal Code. We then have Jane Wangeshi Gitari, accused number 10, who was part of the inspection committee and was key, since she was the one who was based in the procurement office and in charge of this acceptance. And accordingly, the court 268(1), as read with 275 of the Penal Code, the conspiracy, as well as count 5, engaging in organized Gilgil College. We also have accused number 12, Titus Trouble Ribondo, the officer in charge tailoring machines, NYS. Accused 13, Chomos Koromandiema, who was the NYS quartermaster. They were part of the inspection and acceptance committee. The court finds that all the documents against them appeared to be quite similar, and into the inspection committees, the evidence which was brought against them has some doubts, as it appeared to be the same document which was changed over and over again. And for those reasons, accused 11, Edix Alunga, Titus Trouble Libondo, Chemos Corona Diema, are given the benefit of doubt and they are acquitted in the charges. That is count 2, stealing, contrary to section 268(1), as read with 275 of the Penal Code. Count number 3, conspiracy to defraud, contrary to section 317 of the Penal Code. Count 5, engaging in organized criminal activity, contrary to section 3, subsection 3, as read with 4 of the Prevention of Organized Crimes Act of the CPC. Count 9, the abuse of office, contrary to section 101(1), as read with 102(2) of the Penal Code. And count number 10, a breach of trust, contrary to section 127, subsection 1 and 127(2) of the Penal Code. We then have accused 14, and house on Sache Nyachi. Accused 17, Mary Wangoi Mbuthia. Accused 18, Ezekiel Karanja Kamau. Accused 19, James Gitau. Is the charge abated? The same with accused number 21. We also have accused 20, Samuel Kilonzi. Accused 22, Jennifer Manyora. Accused 23, Rhoda Macau. Accused 24, Joel Kanye. And accused 25, Francis Wanyi. Either part of the procurement or accounts, like especially accused 20 General, the Chief Accountant with the Ministry of Devolution, Based and Treasury. This group were not involved in either the procurement, the requisitions, the approval, the preparation of the payment vouchers, the financing audit or the financing of the same. I already mentioned that the mischief is said to have been the addition of the zeros, and it was not clear at what point the zero was added, and therefore there wasn't enough evidence worth placing this group on the account. Their responsibilities were secondary duties, either to make approvals or to effect payment of all the semi-autonomy payments, and the responsibility entailed checking and confirming the correctness of the physical vouchers and the attachment. And these documents had already been signed by the AIE holder or the person in charge of the procurement, whom are found culpable. And all these payment vouchers which were presented to court and the documents had already been entered in the IFMIS, so their duty was to just check what's in the document and in the IFMIS. And there was no enough evidence to show that they were aware of any collision, and accordingly I give them the benefits of doubt. They were charged in counts 3, 2, 3, 5, 9, and 10. Count 2 being stealing, contrary to section 268(1), as read with 275 of the Penal Code. Count 3 conspiracy, contrary to section 371. Count 5 engaging in organized crime, contrary to the Prevention of Organized Crime Act. And count 9 abuse of office, and also count number 210 of the CPC. Accused 21 custom, so that there are no charges against him. We've dealt all the others, apart from accused 26. No funds were traced into her accounts. She's given the benefit of doubts in the charges she was facing, which were conspiracy contrary to section 317 of the Penal Code, and count 6 engaging in that the prosecution took so long, especially for accused number 1, 2, and 3, and without any evidence, we could not place them on their case. It's unfortunate that they had to waste 8 years coming to court when there was no case at all, and even the other accused persons who played secondary roles, the ones who interacted with both the documents and entered them in the IFMIS system, are the ones who've been found culpable and placed on their defense. Those who have escaped the dragnet, I attribute it to the too hot a fire that led the IO, especially PW17, to just throw everybody from in the procurement until the accounts to court without taking time to sift who was culpable or who had evidence or not. Some may have been guilty, but the evidence was not strong enough, and always the burden of proof in criminal cases is that of the burden is upon the state and not for the accused person to come and explain themselves, and the standard has been and will always remain beyond reasonable doubt.
Most of like 8 years have gone through. We are very grateful. It was worth the wait, the opportunity. We appreciate your effort and thank you for finding those who have been acquitted. We cannot express how grateful we are, but we must express it. Be blessed.
Anybody to protest?
Yes, I can let my learned senior.
Right.
Yes, Mr.
Most
Moore.
obliged. I appear for the 726th accused person.
That's accused 6 and?
Accused 6,
26,
7, and
yeah.
26.
Yeah.
You know, of course, we are most obliged that you have let free the 726th accused person. However, we remain with one task ahead in respect to the 6th accused person. That having the benefits of the background of this matter, we are beaming, we know we will win. And I have the application that I was made to understand is to be made is that you be kind enough to release the cash bill to him. I have been reminded that I'm making an application to all those persons who have been acquitted.
Yes.
And with respect to 7th and 26th accused person, we will share the amount. Half of it will go to my fees and half of it to them.
Yes, I've seen a letter to
Yes,
that.
so I
But,
think for the rest
was
of
it a
them,
consent or just a,
it was just,
accused-
it's an agreement. I have an agreement to that effect.
yes, accused 7? Just to confirm.
If they don't agree, I can as well go ahead. But I think we agreed.
Is it here?
Yes.
Yes, we agree with that.
So I think, apart from that, everybody who is acquitted is demanding, it's difficult to do that.
Respect for all those who've been acquitted to be refunded.
Yes.
Thank
All
you.
of them are not cash bail.
Security
Thank you.
to be returned. Those who
I
have
hope you recorded mine properly. So
Yes, and that's in reason.
I just reminded that I will need certified copies of the ruling and the proceedings and the ruling for all those who have been acquitted.
Copies of the ruling and proceedings.
Yes.
So what I do in that, maybe for any party, I just say to all parties of the descent and the state to get copies of the same.
And perhaps you're not Nyamu.
Just let me complete this.
You're not Nyamu for the holding brief for Mr. Philippi for the second accused, appearing for the 3rd, 11th, 12th, and 13th accused persons. You're not in